Flatlands, the podcast, is back with another episode.
Back again.
Yep.
Baby, you're back. Baby, come back to me.
So now we're going to Vanessa Hudgens this.
In my heart, I still believe.
I think she sang it better than you. Sorry.
Together, baby, come back.
Let's not get a copyright strike now.
I'm pretty sure that would not get us a copyright
Probably
strike
not.
because
It's
of
Vanessa
how
Hudgens.
ass I just sang that.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, the computer would be like,
That and the fact that it's Vanessa Hudgens.
ooh. Yeah. But,
As he's struggling to swallow his Reese's over.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah. But before the music kicks in, I want to send a reminder out to everybody if you listened to last week's episode. Also, a reminder anyway, that we're still doing a comment thing on our Instagram, Flatlands the Podcast.
unless the post has been removed, there has been a stipulation placed in case that happens.
Yeah, placed behind closed doors that could cause it to come down, but the chances of that happening are very extremely slim to none. So more than likely, it's still going to be up.
So yes, if the post is still up, it goes till the 31st of
Yes.
January.
But comment a thumbs up if you want Josh to compliment a dick for 2020, however many thumbs up there are, is how many dicks Josh has to compliment this year in 2020.
And to see this post, go to our Instagram at Flatlands the Podcast. Mainly because I don't use the Twitter one very often.
No, you're still, why would you even have it?
I don't know, I thought about deleting it.
Yeah, but we should keep it though.
I keep it because when Podbean uploads our stuff, it
Mhm.
automatically puts a link to. So if anybody does follow it on there, they
Yeah.
can get the. Yep.
And cue the intro music.
Wow, I love that intro music.
I know.
You did a great
it's
job
so-
writing
Thank
it.
you.
Really did a great job.
Yeah.
It gets you pumped up.
It really does. It's very
yeah.
good,
It
yeah.
just like goes, here comes the podcast. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You nailed it perfectly.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'd like to one day hear the full finished product, though.
Yeah, one day.
Since I know that's just a little snippet.
Yeah, if I ever stop being lazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's already doing great. It's doing great for
Yeah.
us. You know, it's
Mhm.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
doing good. It's doing what it's supposed to right now.
Yeah. But welcome everybody to the third episode, technically, of the year.
Of 2020, yes, because we skipped two. Because
Yes, we
lazy,
did.
and our main editor, our only editor, I should say, really.
yeah,
is-
was
down.
sick and shit. And
yeah.
but welcome back to Flatlands, the podcast.
Where Josh has a topic for us.
Yeah, because he's a topic man still.
Topic, man.
Well, he claims he has a really good one, so
Mhm.
let's find out
Pretty
what
good,
it is.
pretty good.
Yeah.
You ever wondered who would win some fictional fights?
I mean, some people probably already know. They just watch Bat in the Sun on YouTube. Not sponsored. Bat in the Sun
No.
on YouTube has some actually pretty cool
I've only
ones.
seen a couple of those, though.
I've
I
seen
know there's
quite
a
a
lot
few.
more. I know
Yeah.
there's a lot more than I've seen, but yeah.
Yeah. Superpower beatdown.
And even then, depends on how they do it. Still depends on who would win.
Mm-hmm.
Just because their outcome comes out that way.
But also, they do have alternative endings with some of the
And
fights
this
too.
is true. Because like the Batman versus Deadpool one I saw, Deadpool could still technically win.
Mm-hmm. Well, even Deadpool versus Joker. Deadpool beat Joker, but there's
Mm.
another one where Deadpool lost to Joker because that was the alternate ending. Same
True.
thing with Batman versus Darth Vader. They had the alternate ending.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is all variable. This is not strictly our opinions. This is each individual opinions.
Each
here.
individual opinion. That if you have your own opinion on the outcome,
Yes. Please do comment. What's your thoughts?
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
To get started with the list, got a very interesting one.
All right.
Neo from the Matrix
Okay.
versus John Wick.
Hmm.
Now, who
Does
would
Neo
win that?
kill a puppy that belongs to John Wick?
Or is he part of any of the underground or anything like that?
That's a good-
Because my question is, if Neo kills John Wick's puppy,
then
I'm
John
gonna have to go.
Wick.
John Wick's gonna kick some ass. Okay, I
Right.
don't care if Neo can
Yeah,
fucking fly
oh,
or not.
Oh yeah,
But we have to think about this though.
Neo.
Is John Wick, is he actually in the Matrix itself, or is he also able to go outside of the Matrix? Because if he's able to go outside of the Matrix, then he could technically fight Neo one-on-one outside of the Matrix and probably beat his ass. But if he's still in the Matrix,
Well, I
Neo
don't
has
know.
almost full
Think
control
about
and domain.
the ending of the third Matrix movie, though.
Mm-hmm.
He did actually was able to bring some of his abilities out of the Matrix into the real world, which helped save the
Yeah.
Zion because he was able to stop the machines coming at him.
Yeah.
But just by putting his hand up like he does the bullets. Took a lot of energy out of him, but he could do it. So does that actually mean Neo doesn't have his powers outside of the Matrix?
I think he may have some, but again, the amount of energy it took, but still, that's stopping very super powerful machines, not a human being.
But the next thing though is this would also depend on how they betray him in the new Matrix movie coming out.
Yeah, we already know John Wick is an established badass.
Yes,
but
and Neo downloaded everything to make him a badass.
Yeah, but see, Neo and John, since they basically look exactly the same, because spoiler alert, they're acted by the same actor.
No way.
Yep, I know. No way. But because of that, is there a possibility that they'd get themselves confused with each other of who's who?
No,
I
don't
think
so.
the hair and the facial hair would give it away.
So who's who?
I mean, they do both wear all black.
But this also does bring up a thing. I know it's supposed to be about a fight, who'd win,
and they both use guns.
Yeah, it would go back to that. But if we think about it, could technically John Wick technically be Neo just in the future after everything was said and done in the Matrix?
How do we know John Wick's not from the past, since the Matrix is done in the future?
But if we go based off of chronological order, since
of the movies, yes.
Yeah, Keanu was younger in that time frame, though.
True. But when they say dates and stuff, John Wick takes place before the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And if John Wick was after the Matrix, wouldn't the technology be better?
Yeah,
but it could have.
After thinking about that, that means that SS Chevelle and that beautiful '69 Mustang he's got wouldn't even exist because the entire world was destroyed.
Yeah. So John Wick has to be.
He has to be pre Neo.
But it could still be Neo, because the people.
Are you saying basically our timeline starts back over?
Yeah. Basically, it's the Mandela effect.
He's got a point though. Because if we came back out of the ground, we'd be back in the Stone Ages.
Yes, but also too, if you think about it though, the theory behind the 2012 ending and why the Mandela effect exists is that the year 2012 actually officially the world ended, and we all just transcended to another universe.
That was very similar.
Yeah, so it was very similar, but obviously things were changed. Keyword Mandela effect. That technically could be a thing that happened. So basically, they came back. And they were able to have the world like normal without the machines there.
Question.
Or is it a new version?
But question. In the Matrix, they said that the robots ran off of like solar power originally. So therefore, they scorched the skies so that way there's no sunlight. Hence why whenever they did show the outside, it was stormy, cloudy, stuff like that. John Wick, they got sun and sky.
Okay.
So how do they get rid of that?
Okay, so you know how they were always constantly trying to stop Neo from being Neo, right? And trying to get him back into following the Matrix order like everyone else does, you know?
Which is kind of what they do in the John Wick movies, is try to stop John Wick from doing John Wick.
Yeah, but what if John Wick is Neo, but the machines were successful at making Neo believe that he was just part. That
he was
was
just
a real
human
world.
and not.
But because of the shit he downloaded at the origin, he carried that with him. And that's why he's such a bad. That's why he's able to go against like 50 million thugs shooting at him
and kill people with pencils.
Kill them all. Yeah,
over a dog.
Yeah, that could be a possibility.
There's a lot of possibilities.
Because they never really.
But with all these possibilities, we've still yet to answer the ultimate question. Who would win in the fight?
I personally, I'm putting my bets on. I think it's going to be a close fight, but I'm putting my bet on Neo, depending on the arena. If we're talking real world arena, I'm putting it on John. But if we're talking like actual Matrix, I'm putting it on Neo.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you on that one.
I would agree with that too.
Yeah.
Because if we're in the real world, John more than likely would have the tactical advantage over Neo, although Neo does have a tactical advantage. But if we're in the Matrix, like how John probably would be, if we're actually looking at it, if he were to come after him, he could shoot the fuck out of Neo, and Neo just puts his fucking hand up and be like, "Psych, bitch."
True. So yeah, you make a valid argument there. I agree with that.
Considering how Neo had to fight against other people who could use the Matrix to their advantage, like he could. He's used to fighting that level. So a person who's just stuck in the Matrix, who just is following the Matrix, they're basically a normal human in comparison to to how Neo is.
This is very true.
Mm-hmm.
Very. I definitely can agree with that.
So how do you think the fight would actually go down though? Like now, if
it's in the Matrix,
mm-hmm. It's gonna be like
John Wick's just gonna be dead. There's not gonna really be anything.
Yeah.
But if it's in Real World, that might be a bloody ass fight.
Yeah.
A long, tedious.
But
bloody
see, at
fight.
the same time though, Neo used his shit against the machines in the real world. And they are more powerful than the humans, obviously, if they're able to do what they did. They're way more powerful than the humans. However, if it's against a human, he still may have some fighting chance in the real world against John.
But that's what I'm saying. It's going to be a long, tedious, bloody battle.
A chess match.
Yeah, that's going to be a key of who plays their pieces right.
Now, but if John knows about it, though, is there a possibility that he'd be able to pull Neo back into the real world?
Possibly.
But
actually, knowing John Wick, he might be smart enough to just go unplug him.
But also too, but also if he's in the Matrix, that means he's plugged in. So how would he get him pulled out into the real world then? Because you couldn't Frederick Krueger that. Like you go to sleep, grab a piece of his shit, wake up, and you have it in his hand, then you can summon him into the real world and kill him. You couldn't do that in the Matrix because you're having to be plugged in at that time. That means you would have to knowingly
He'd have to have a man
yourself
on the inside. Well, knowing John Wick and all of his connects, he could have somebody inside that lets him out safely, and then he just walks up to Neo and goes, "Poof."
But that means he would have to figure out that, and he'd have to know that guy already. So how would that happen?
Well, they are played by the same guy. He may know. Never know.
That would also go back to that blip theory.
Yep, it would.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Josh?
I agree.
Wow, our topic, man, is so full of ambition.
Just like his stories, his explanation behind things is very, very deep and profound.
Yes, I mean, he's doing such a great job. He's talking. The energy is flowing out of him today.
I know.
My question is this.
Okay.
Question.
Answer.
My question is this. Question. I believe that is a word, not a question. I'm sorry.
Also he said it, but it's not just a word. He said it as a statement.
So you said it as a statement too. Yeah.
He didn't go
singular
question,
word
question.
Statement.
He went question. The inflection of your voice determines whether there's a question mark at the end or a period or an exclamation.
Anyways.
Point.
Yeah, and you didn't go question? You didn't go question.
Yeah, you just went question.
Would John Wick really just go in for the easy kill of unplugging him? Or would he just really just fight him out and take him out with his own hands?
Depends on how bad he's losing.
And also depends, again, like we said, on what the arena is.
Yep.
Like, so if he was in the real world and they were fighting in the real world, I could see John go guns first. But I could see John also doing a big hand-to-hand shit on him, for sure. And there probably would be a pencil involved, maybe two. But
and then he's going to fucking probably kill Neo with a fucking pencil.
Yeah, but I could see that.
You know, I once watched him kill 3 men in a bar with a pencil.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, I think everybody's seen it. If you haven't seen it, it's a sight to see.
Yeah. I also think it depends on when Neo is in the Matrix that they get him. Is it before they pull him out? Or is it right after they pull him out? He's before he learns everything? Or is it after he learns everything?
Yeah, when in the Matrix does Neo meet John Wick?
Exactly. Because if they do it when he's sitting in that boring little cubicle at his job,
yeah, is it before
John Wick's just going to walk and put a bullet in his head and walk off.
Yeah, like before he gets that pill. Like when...
Yeah.
But then also that does bring another question. In the Matrix, since you are actually a living human being on the outside of the Matrix, plugged into the Matrix, if you get murdered, are you technically dead? I know that we just went off onto a whole nother thing.
Well, no, they do say in the Matrix movies, if you die in the Matrix, you die in the real world.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's right. I forget about that.
So yeah, if you get murdered in the Matrix, you are dead. And if you're alive as an adult in the Matrix, just because you were lucky enough to not be a baby turned into a battery.
Interesting. Dead is dead.
Yep, just like how it is in real life.
You're dead.
Yeah, dead. Not just dead. You're dead.
Yeah,
you're dead.
Not dead though. That's too much.
Yeah. You get flushed.
He's not wrong. When they pull Neo out of the Matrix, they flush him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's not water. It's some slimy shit, but he gets fucking flushed.
But when he said flush him, I was thinking,
is that where they got
totally
the inspiration
different.
for Flushed Away?
Possibly. Right? But
turn the people into mice and just flush them.
For some reason, when he said flushed, I was thinking of a high school student in a bathroom giving birth and flushing the toilet. Is what for some reason my brain.
Oh, you're thinking about the 12-year-old giving birth on a plane and trying to flush it down the toilet. Okay.
Yeah, I went dark as fuck.
I thought you were talking about just going flush in the face.
Oh no.
No, we're straight to babies down the damn toilet.
Leave it to you.
Yeah.
Dark humor.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It is. Like that TikTok I saw.
Yeah, right.
Like, yes, I lost some weight. Is that how you're going to tell him we lost the baby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark humor.
Mm-hmm.
So we've figured out, come to the conclusion that
That it could. It's basically a tie.
It's
Yeah.
a tie.
It's a tie depending on the time and the place.
Yeah. Circumstance, the arena.
All right, for our next matchup, we're going to the MCU
Okay.
universe.
Mm.
Who would win out of the MCU Thanos versus the Cable from Deadpool?
See, the thing is, I still think Thanos. I'm putting in my money on Thanos. Cable, yes, he has those abilities, and he does have the ability to even go in time travel and shit. But Thanos, I believe, wins. One, because Cable doesn't have any access to any Infinity Stones.
All right, Infinity
Yeah, for
Stones
what?
aside.
Okay, so no
Straight up.
gauntlet, no stones.
Straight up fight.
Okay.
Well, Thanos is basically a demigod.
Basically.
Yeah, so I mean,
So,
Cable
I
would
mean,
have the advantage with the
If you
weapon
look into the
used.
comics, Thanos basically flirts with death. He has a big rivalry with Deadpool because Deadpool is also with death.
But at the same time, if you think about Cable, look at why he's doing what he does.
Well, yeah,
He's got a huge motivation behind
because
him.
he's trying to change
Mhm.
his future
Exactly.
from
So if
becoming the way
Thanos
it
gets
is.
in the way,
I could see he has the motivation, but at the same time, if you look at it, the Avengers also had the same motivation behind that too, because he already said his manifesto that he was going to delete 50% of the all living life forms on the in the universe, and they already had their motivation to stop him from doing that, even though he
Mhm.
did make the snap. And if you haven't seen Infinity War, it's been long enough.
yes.
But they already knew that they had a big motivation. They couldn't stop him. And you're talking about the most pretty much in the Avengers, the most powerful beings on the earth, and they couldn't stop him. Of course, I mean, I get it. He had his gauntlet and he has some Infinity Stones helping him out. Even in the comics, Thanos is basically a demigod pretty much. And he already has extreme power anyway, and he's very OP when you think about it. So against Cable, who is literally just a fucking human being pretty much. I think honestly, I'm giving it to Thanos. I can't see any other way as to how, because he's not like Superman, fucking throw kryptonite on him.
Right.
And he weakens up, you know?
Okay, but this
So-
is my counter argument.
Okay, go ahead.
That's kind of what happened for the American Revolution. We were nothing fighting England, and we whooped their ass because we had the motivation
But
behind
we
it,
also had help with France. So
True,
unless
but
Cable
still-
brings in Deadpool, I don't see there
which
going
is
to
a
be an ability.
possibility. Because Deadpool's down to kill fucking anybody.
Yeah, he already doesn't. He doesn't like Thanos anyway.
Exactly.
In the comics, he
So
doesn't
if he
like him.
pulls basically what we did in the American Revolution and gets somebody to help him, he has a chance.
But would he be able to survive long enough to be able to get that assistance from Deadpool?
True.
Because Thanos, being as powerful as he is, could pretty much end Cable like that.
And if you
True.
recall back to Infinity War, Thanos put a real quick butt whooping on the Hulk.
And scared the
And-
Hulk to where he didn't even come out.
And the
True.
reason why the Russo brothers wrote that into the script like that is because they wanted to show how
Powerful.
powerful and strong Thanos
And
is.
it's if the Hulk, of whom the more angrier he gets,
The
Stronger
the
he
stronger he becomes.
And he's
It's-
never been scared until
he could
that point.
Yeah, he could become stronger than pretty much any force in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Would that work? I mean, even Thanos even bitch slapped Captain Marvel. Okay, so I mean, and Captain Marvel is literally basically Superman of the Marvel
but
comics.
my only thing with that
So
is, yeah, he did, but he took the Power Stone and put it in his hand and then went.
yeah,
back.
and then he
So
got
had
her.
the-
Yeah,
Yeah, the
So
stone.
we had to have a little
Yeah.
bit of assistance.
Yeah.
We've already said that's out.
Right.
yeah. So,
Stone's
but at the
out.
same time, though, he doesn't. Cable wouldn't have that thing to get Captain Marvel's attention to come and help him. You know what I mean? Because she does the entire fucking universe. So she goes back and forth to multiple different universes,
Which
like
is why
different
even in
galaxies
it-
and planets.
Which
and
is
shit.
even at why in World she was very
yeah, in
late
Endgame.
coming into
Yeah,
or in
it
game.
took-
Yeah, she was
yeah, it
very
took
late
her a while.
to the.
Yeah, because she was already having
battle.
to clean up some other shit that
And
he
she
was
cleaned up
doing.
other shit, and then by the time they all showed up to come deal with everything there, she finally shows up after they're
Mhm.
almost getting their asses handed to them.
Yeah. So I mean, at the same time, I still say Cable gets his ass handed to him, unless he starts off
miraculously
with
gets
or he
Deadpool
starts off with Deadpool,
Yeah,
because then I could see that. But okay, since we can add our own versus thing, Thanos versus Deadpool. If we look in the comics, they do fight,
Mhm.
and it's pretty close. I mean, I think Thanos wins. I don't remember. I have to look at it again, but it is pretty damn close. because they both fuck with Lady Death,
Right.
right? I mean, although Thanos wants Lady Death and Lady Death put a curse on Deadpool, but either way, they both fuck with each other, and Deadpool can't die. So if we're looking at now, if we think about this though, how do you think that fight would go down? Again, like we don't have the full Infinity Stones because if he snaps, he could vaporize Deadpool. Deadpool's gone. Like there's no regenerating from that. Because the only way to kill Deadpool, just like the only way to kill Wolverine, is you have to destroy them from the molecular level. They can come back from the smallest skin cell. But that snap, the way it looks like they're burned.
It just vaporizes you completely.
Yeah, and you become that ash. And if we know how physics works, when things burn, it changes things at the molecular level. So Deadpool wouldn't be able to come back from that. But if we go based off of just either fist, or he could even have the Infinity Stones, but it can't be all of them to where he can snap, right?
I would say just keep those Infinity Stones out of it because of the different
because there's
powers
so
you
much
can
of
get
a different
There's so many different variations.
So if we did that, Deadpool versus Thanos, how do you think that would go?
I see Thanos thinking he wins at one point, not expecting Deadpool to come back, and then Deadpool sneaks up on him and kills him.
I could see that.
But I can also see Thanos actually flat out destroying him.
Yeah, like not enough to where it kills Deadpool, but where Deadpool's like, you know what, I'm done. Yeah, I ain't gonna fuck with this shit.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Josh?
I can see Thanos winning depending on how it goes. I can agree with Deadpool winning. I can see a lot of puns from Deadpool saying, "Well, you Thanos, you sound like Cable."
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Or Deadpool just annoys Thanos to the point Thanos kills himself.
Yeah,
I can see that
Thanos
too.
Just gives up. Like, you ain't even worth my fucking time.
Fuck it. I'm done.
Well, because in the comics, he gets annoyed with Deadpool literally just because of his quips.
So see, I can see Deadpool just fucking with him enough mentally that he just kills himself or gives up.
I can see that. But also, too, I mean, Deadpool does have the ability to keep coming. Like, he could fucking, like, punch a hole through him as long as it doesn't cut him in half and he has to take a minute to regenerate. Deadpool could literally still walk around and go, oh my God, there's a fucking hole in me. Katana. You know? So, I mean, I think...
Which was proven in the Deadpool movie. You know, when he was ripped in half at the waist.
Yeah. But
his little baby legs.
Yeah. But I think
Basic instinct.
Yeah, I think Deadpool would have a fighting chance for damn sure.
Oh yeah, he definitely would.
I mean,
it'd for sure be a drawn out fight.
Mentally
but
or
also
physically.
too because of the fact with both of them fucking with Lady Death, you know, with fucking Death. They both fuck with Death. She could have say in that shit too. Because Thanos is so infatuated with her that basically Deadpool could literally pull her in and be like, tell them to stop. And then she tells him to stop and he goes, okay, and he stops. You know what I mean? But Deadpool, he just also too, if you think about it, if we're going movie wise, okay, I could see him getting his ass beat. But if we're going comic book wise, I could see Deadpool disappearing from a panel, showing up in another panel, crossing over into another panel behind Thanos and stabbing him in the back of the neck. I could see Deadpool being able to do that because of his ability to break the fourth wall.
Right.
Yes, you have a very, very valid point there.
I could see literally him hopping down a
I literally see him going, hold up. This fight's over. I'll be right back. And then, poop.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and goes, there's a knife in your back, fucker. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
If we're going based off of how he breaks the fourth wall and shit like that.
Yeah.
So again, that would also depend on the arena.
It would, yep.
Yeah. So I would say that's also a 1-1 tie.
Yep.
All right, now for a real interesting one.
Okay.
Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee.
That is the debate of the century.
Well, let's see. Bruce Lee could catch Rice with his fucking chopsticks because he's so fast and coordinated.
Yes.
And Chuck Norris he was born the same year World War II ended, you know. So I mean, there's no coincidence, there's no coincidence
but
there. You know?
if we go based off of the movie, Bruce Lee beats Chuck Norris's ass.
Yes.
Which is the only real encounter of the two.
But if you believe the rumors, Chuck Norris wasn't born. He just appeared.
This is true. And Nazi Germany surrendered the same year he was born. Coincidence? I think not.
Exactly.
So
plus, if you think about all the jokes and stuff, have you seen that video of Chuck Norris on the wings of the plane too?
Yes.
Yeah, you got that too.
Yeah. So
I haven't seen that with Bruce Lee yet.
Right. We kind of can't. But
Well, that was animated anyway.
I know, but I mean But okay, so let's see. If we're going, besides jokes aside, if we're going real martial arts skill, how do you think they would do in a real legit fight? I think that would be really close. Chuck Norris is a master at a lot of fucking, martial art disciplines. He knows a fuck ton of disciplines. He even created his own. Okay. So, I mean, he knows a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Lee was also a master. He could do nunchucks like fucking nobody's business. He's one of the ones that made it popular in the United States and shit like that. So I mean,
but I see Bruce Lee being faster to maneuver.
I could see that too.
Which, although speed is not always a good thing, because Chuck Norris seems to put more of his weight behind his hits.
But also Bruce Lee though was very, very a master of the 1-inch punch.
True.
Which can fucking knock you the fuck back, but literally be like an inch away from you.
It's basically like the Kill Bill.
Yeah,
breaks the fingers on tips against it and hit. Yeah.
Yeah, because he knew how to put all his momentum right into that one spot with barely moving his body, but he knew how to do that. He was very good at it. So I could see that fight. I don't know. Honestly, I really don't. I don't know how I would. I think
again that would be a one-on-one depending on the circumstances.
That's really That's really
if they know they're in an arena and they're going to go one-on-one. I don't know. That's going to be a long. Yeah, that's going to be a close fight.
That's another thing too. Like, are we?
What if Chuck Norris sneaks up behind Bruce Lee?
Well, are we in a formal fight where there are actual points awarded? Are we in a UFC fight? Are we in a street fight? Because a UFC fight, those guys could beat down your ass, but in a street fight, sometimes you could still beat a UFC dude. Because in a street fight, there are no rules. In a street fight, there's no ref telling you to stop. So basically, in a street fight, there's nothing stopping you.
Roundhouse kick.
Yeah, but in a street fight, there's nothing stopping you from fucking, getting a 2x4 and hitting them in the face. You know what I mean? So it's like, are we looking at arena? Because if we're looking at an arena, I could see them going for points. So
and that would still be
because Chuck Norris could still get the beat down on Bruce, but Bruce Lee does enough technical shit to get points that he still beats Chuck Norris, even though his face is mangled, if you will. You know what I mean?
Right.
If we're looking at a street fight, it could go. I don't know. I think that could be a 1-for-1 thing, or that could be just put a question mark there because I mean that's such a strongly opinionated and debated thing.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah,
it's too close to call. Too close to call.
And they're both masters in their own right.
I mean, Jackie Chan did start and get his motivation to be what he is now because of Bruce Lee. I don't see anybody saying that about Chuck Norris yet.
No, there probably are.
There probably are, but Jackie Chan is.
But I mean, Chuck Norris also has all those jokes.
True. And we're pretty sure he did win World War II for us.
Right. Very well. Very well. Now, this confrontation is going to be coming up soon in the next movie, but I figured we could go ahead and touch up on it and get some ideas going, opinions. Who's going to win? Godzilla, King Kong?
Godzilla.
Yeah, 100%.
Godzilla.
After everything that fucking happened in the last fucking Godzilla movie, Godzilla.
Godzilla always has a magical way of winning. I mean, that could be writing, but knowing how Godzilla is and his ability, I think he wins. Plus the fact that he has a radioactive fire and a radioactive breath, and also too, he feeds off of radiation.
The radiation poisoning alone generated off Godzilla is gonna fucking kill.
Now, but King Kong though, he kind of is also the same thing.
He's a muto too. That feeds off of radiation.
Off of radiation.
True,
and that's why they're saying, King Kong in the last movie, he didn't look, that big, but in this next one, he's going to be full size because of the radiation.
Yeah, King Kong. King Kong size. I keep wanting to say King Kong song.
King Kong song.
I know Godzilla is an Asian origin, but really, any Asian listeners, the opinion stated are Jonathan's and Jonathan's alone. Me and Josh do not stand by him by this.
They do not reflect on Flatlands, the podcast, or its affiliates.
Yeah. Duly noted.
But I mean, I think it depends on how we're looking at Godzilla. Are we looking and what era of Godzilla and what era of King Kong are we looking at?
Well, since
are we looking at the modern
new movie thing?
Yeah, are we looking at the modern version, or are we also going to go based off the history since the fucking 1950s?
We're going to stick with modern. What we're
modern
seeing
version
right
of
now.
what we see. I could see it being a draw,
especially since it being a new movie. I could see them being like, okay, wait.
Or are they going to
at the
do?
same time, though, the most recent Godzilla movie, that should have easily been a draw. Those were fucking demigods, pretty much. And he still beat them.
He
But
did
he's
have a little
the
help
alpha.
though.
Yeah, this is true.
But now that he's in charge of everything and he is the alpha of everything on the planet now,
Mm-hmm.
what's stopping them from joining? Until they get a new alpha.
This is true.
I mean, you did say Godzilla's always got a magical way of winning. That could
Yeah.
be his magical way of winning this time.
But I can see it being close. I see
although
Godzilla
King
winning.
Kong has the arms to grab him. You know, Godzilla's
Yeah.
just like a T-Rex.
He's like, he's got a big head and little arms. But I think I'm saying Godzilla's gonna win. That's just I'm
I
gonna say
too,
that.
yeah.
And that's not just because I think Godzilla's cool. I'm literally just saying Godzilla's gonna win. Because that's his track record is winning. But at the same time, King Kong, though, I see it being close. I see Godzilla almost
getting his
tapping
ass
out.
beat, though.
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
him almost tapping out.
I see it kind of being like the last movie, actually, where
Yeah.
Godzilla has to be like, okay, I'm backing off. You won the battle here. I
Yeah.
will be back.
Yeah, you won the battle, but I'm gonna win the war.
Yeah, I see that happening.
Do you think that in the movies they're going to do like what they did with Freddy versus Jason, where Jason's won, and then at the end Freddy's like, I'm still
Yeah,
alive.
his head still, yeah. I can see him doing that too, actually.
But the only thing, but the only thing that pissed me off is they actually never capitalized on that.
Yeah, and they never did go anywhere.
They could have easily
Well, that's
gotten a
just it.
sequel in that.
But that's just it. When you look at all those scary movies like that,
Mm-hmm.
Freddy died off. Jason and Michael Myers kept going. And then Jason died off, and then
Michael
Myers
still.
keep going.
Well,
If they
also,
would, and then they did remake fucking Freddy Krueger,
yeah.
but the guy who played him, horrible. Hated it.
Well, see, I mean,
Because
because
it was the same guy who played, what's his name off of Watchmen?
Well, see, we can
The
get
mask
back
guy.
to the whole fight and shit. But when you look at Jason and Michael, the reason why they're easily able to be continued, in
Mhm.
my opinion at least, I could be wrong here, but in my opinion, the reason they're able to is they're both masked.
Mhm.
You hardly ever, rarely ever see their face.
And if you do, it's
and
a bunch of makeup anyways.
Yeah, and they never talk,
Mm-hmm.
except for maybe a grunt here and there. But they never actually go, hello, my name is Michael Myers, or hello, I am Jason Voorhees. They never talk at all. So you never get an iconic actor's voice and thing. But Freddy has a face and Freddy has a voice.
And see, my thing is actually when I compare the photo of the original Freddy versus the
Mhm.
new one, they made Freddy look better in the older movies than they did in the new one. But I don't like the guy who, like, they could have probably found somebody better to play him. The
Yeah.
voice wasn't right. Because I think it's also because I've just seen him in so much other stuff too. I don't know. But the voice wasn't right. It was too, like, high pitched and stuff. It
Here's a
wasn't quite
deep
enough.
guttural.
Yeah, it wasn't deep enough. And the makeup, he just wasn't as intimidating as he used to be.
Mm-hmm. But back to the King Kong.
But he makes a valid argument with that, though. I could see one of them getting their ass beat, but like, I'm still fucking here, bitches.
I mean, but see, at the same time,
It's gonna
though,
be like a Deadpool. King Kong's gonna lose with his head covered. Like, hey, he's got a new body. Let's try this again.
see, I mean, but King Kong, though, if we're going modern, because how are they portraying his modern version of him though? Because there's so many different King Kongs. Not only the King Kong that fought Godzilla in the past and lost, but also you got the one that climbed the Empire State Building with a woman in his hand and didn't crush the fuck out of her. You know what I mean? How are we? How are they saying that this King Kong is? Because if we're going Godzilla how he is now, because we already have 2 movies of him, so we can already be like, this is how
He's a pretty
Godzilla
good
is.
badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
And since you said keep him modern as it is now, yeah.
But
we
we
need
don't
more
have
on King
any-
Kong.
We don't have any modern representation of King Kong in this universe.
other than Kong.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but even then,
but,
he's still not.
but is
he's
that
still
is
not to
that is
point
Kong
yet.
though? Is that feeding into?
Yeah, that's the same one.
It's
Yeah,
tied in.
It is.
yeah, it's tied
Okay.
in.
Yeah,
But-
Okay, so if we're going based off of
It's
that,
just
Because
not,
okay.
but
if
it's
you
not
watch-
full size yet.
If you watch Kong and
Yeah.
you stay past, they do an end credit scene
Okay.
where Monarch comes in and is debriefing the 2 survivors from it and showing them slides of different monsters or whatever. And Godzilla is one of the monsters they show them.
Okay, I didn't.
And
saw the end credit.
that's how it ties into the Godzilla.
Yeah, I never saw the end credit of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's how they tie
Okay.
in.
So if we're going based off of that,
Yeah.
okay. So we do have a modern.
Yes,
representation.
we do.
I never saw the. I thought it was the standalone.
when
I didn't think
they-
it was part of the whole.
Right.
Yeah,
When
didn't
they
think it was
originally-
either.
Once they tossed that idea, everybody knew the next movie was coming out was going to be Kong versus Godzilla. But they're like, okay, well, you have Godzilla. He's like freaking this tall. Kong right now is only this tall. So the directors had to say, well, in the time length, because of all this radiation and stuff, Kong's going to be fuller size to be even matched up with Godzilla. So they're both going to be
Well,
same height.
King Kong has fucking extreme strength.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
He may not be as tall, but he would definitely have the muscle to back him up.
yes, I see. But see, also
I mean,
when Godzilla really gets going and he gets his actual blast, and I'm not talking just the shit that comes out, but the shit to where his spine
His
glows,
tail glows and everything, and he just
everything
rips
like that,
fucking
and then
thing apart.
yeah, that one, that I think that's going to be a devastating blow too. I could see that being at the end, like Godzilla's getting his ass handed to him by King Kong, and then he blasts one of those, fucking hurts Kong enough that he's able to bite him, fucking push him around, do other blasts and other attacks and tail whips and shit like that.
Yeah, but I still see there being at least one point where Godzilla gets his ass beat and he's like, okay, I gotta back off for a bit and I'll come back to finish this. I see that still happening too.
Yeah.
Though.
I can see that happening. I kind of hope they don't do that because then I have a feeling that a lot of people would be like, oh, that's just a repeat of this last movie.
Yeah, I can see that too, though.
Kind of like different story, same plot.
Movie-wise,
shit,
I hope
different
they
day.
don't do that, but I
Yeah.
can also still see them doing that.
Yeah, right.
Same shit, different day type of shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like, oh, these characters from the other movies, oh, they're now dead. But everything else is the same as the last one, just different characters.
yeah.
So I think it's pretty consensus that would be Godzilla.
I'd say Godzilla, but I
That
mean,
could still also
obviously,
be a draw too, though.
especially depending on how they title the movie. If they title it Godzilla, more than likely it's going to be Godzilla, unless they have King Kong win, unless they have him fucking win, and then there's basically Avengers Endgame. There's Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. It's a 2-part movie.
Godzilla wins one.
Yeah, I think Thanos comes back and destroys Godzilla off the face of the earth type of shit,
Or since it's probably going to feed more towards Godzilla, they might have Kong win the first one and then Godzilla comes back in a second, part 2.
Yeah, I can see them doing that. So right now, I'm just going to put a question mark on that one personally. I think it's going to be Godzilla, so I want to say Godzilla, but I'm going to put a question mark on it.
Yeah, that all depends on the writing at this point.
Yeah,
for the actual movie.
Yeah, because I mean, if we're going historically from the Japanese version of Godzilla, all from the 1950s, he's going to fucking win.
Right.
So I mean,
but see, with us putting a question mark on this, when all the movies finally, get done and taken care of, we can actually come back at it like, all right, this is what we talked about. This is how it went.
This is how it went. Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to go to 2 similar characters. Both don't really have superpowers, just have wealth and knowledge.
That sounds like Iron Man and Batman.
Bada bing, bada boom. We got Iron Man versus Batman.
So basically, the
Batman's gonna
exact counterparts of each other in the different.
Batman's going to win.
Nah, I think. That's hard.
No, because
I think Iron Man could.
There's only one. There's one reason why I state that.
Why do you say? Why do you think that?
Because every time Batman fights somebody,
yes,
he learns what they do.
But
Iron Man
Tony
does not.
does the same.
Not
Tony,
really.
yes, Tony does exactly
Not quite the same.
Exactly. How the fuck do you think he was able to engineer the ability to create another gauntlet to fight against Thanos? He had that ability to do it.
But
Plus,
look
he
how
was
long it
able
takes him to do it.
He was able to develop the portals and shit to be able to get them to travel. He does the exact same thing.
But he reflects on it. Batman does it on the spot.
No, Batman doesn't always do it on the spot. A lot of times he goes back and
Depends on
fucking
the character.
bitches to Alfred, and he's like, "This shit's not working."
Okay,
I'm Batman.
Which honestly, you have a point.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it would also depend on who
Basically,
you talk to and which
Alfred
side you...
is Tony's fucking
Penny?
yes, Penny or
I'm
or,
not even an MCU
or,
fan.
No,
that much.
not Penny, but fuck, what's his name? God damn it,
Jarvis.
Thank you, Jarvis. Yes, his name was slipping me at that moment. But basically, Alfred is Tony's Jarvis. They're literally the same character, just in different comics. I think personally, that Tony is going to win. I think Tony's going to win. If we're actually going that they have to fight, Tony's winning. And
but
that's
at
not
the
just
same
because I'm a
time-
Marvel fan. I love Batman.
But at the same time, Batman can kill Superman.
Yes, but Batman had to use a fucking cheat.
Kryptonite.
But Batman
That
can do the same
causes-
thing to Iron Man.
but
He can
that
hack the
causes
fucking
him
suit.
to be weak as fuck. But also, you got to think, Batman, one suit, he got some shit. Tony, 50 million against one fucking Batman.
Still, Batman can
I don't
hack
think
the
Batman
software.
would be able to
But
hack
hold on,
all that
hold
shit.
on.
But Tony also, he's smart enough to think ahead. They go, oh yeah, you hacked this? Well, I also got this over here because
But
Stock Industries is everywhere.
as the
So Wayne,
mediator.
Wayne Enterprises, though.
of this
Depends on what we're fighting, I
debate.
guess you could say.
Mm.
All right. We're talking about. All right, we're talking about post Iron Man 3 Tony? Because in Iron Man 3 at the end, he destroys all his
destroys
suits.
them all. But at the same time, after that, he became stronger, though.
He did
And if we're
become
going
stronger.
based off of the comics, also, too, he eventually develops nanosuit technology that literally is
True.
infused into his body that comes over him.
Hence
So if
Infinity
you-
War.
Yeah, so if you think
Yeah.
about that if we're going MCU movies, if we're going at the
MCU
beginning or we're going in the second movie, more than likely Batman will win. If we're going Iron Man 3, more than likely Iron Man will win. If we're going after that, if we're going anywhere after that into Avengers Endgame, into just the initial Avengers and starting that, I could see Batman winning in that regard. But when it comes to the actual very end and to the end game, I could see Tony destroying and fucking
Let's-
beating the
okay,
fuck
okay.
out of Batman.
Just to make it-
and this is another thing I see.
This got really fucking heated, so let's keep this going.
This is another thing though that I see happening though.
Best thing
Batman
yet.
technically it takes time in an older time period when Iron Man is in a newer time period because Batman's technology.
But if we're going to go off
is-
of the movies, though, if we're going off of the movies,
well, if you go off
then,
the movies,
yes.
yeah.
that's because that was what we were just saying.
But
if we're
typically,
going, yes.
but typically, Batman is set in more of an older time period where Iron Man is set in current.
But
Okay,
also
just to
choose-
make this debate fair, let's go ahead. We're going to set exactly which Iron
the
Man we're using.
parameters are the
So
parameters
the
and
Iron
rules.
Man we'll be using will be the Infinity War. You know, he's got the nanosuit technology. So
Okay.
therefore, there's no other suits. It's just his one suit. And which Batman do y'all want to use? Do you want to use the Ben Affleck where he's the more aggressive Batman, or are you going to want to use a different?
That one would give him more
Christian
experience
Bale.
and it would give him an armored suit. But then again, the armored suit fell apart pretty easily against Superman. So I don't know if that one would work.
Or do you want the Christian Bale at Batman? Or
Christian Bale wouldn't have had enough experience to go against.
I would
for
say
that
let's
time
just
period.
go Ben Affleck, just because we don't
It's the
necessarily have
most
to use
current.
Ben Affleck as the
well,
Batman.
no, not necessarily him,
the
but his
experience
The-
of Batman.
yeah,
and his
yeah,
Now,
he has the
where,
experience.
where
yeah.
are we going to fight? Because as you brought up that Batman would be able to hack, where are we going to fight? Because in the MCU universe, in the whole Marvel universe, Tony Stark, Stark Industries is everywhere. If we go into the
But where
the
physically
DCU
does Tony Stark live?
yeah, but if we go into the DC universe, Wayne Enterprises is everywhere.
Mhm.
Not necessarily just Gotham and New York City, but Wayne Enterprises is everywhere.
So
just
Tony
like
Stark's
Stark
in New York
Industries.
City.
Yes,
Well, Gotham is technically New York City.
this is true.
So technically they're in the same
That's why
town.
I'm saying
So
they're
if we do
literally
it-
exactly the same.
If we do it in their
person.
hometown, which would technically be the
They're
same
in New York
city,
City.
then it could be a draw. It could be Iron Man wins based off the parameter set.
But depending on what universe are we going to be in, because if that is the case, then Wayne Enterprises is going to be everywhere, and Tony doesn't have the ability to beep all his shit. But if we're going into if we're in the Marvel universe, then Stark Industries and Bruce doesn't have the ability to get his
So
shit.
this is what we'll do.
So how are we gonna neutral ground this then?
This is where I'm going. We're going to just say that Stark Industries and Wayne Enterprises
Mm-hmm.
are in the same universe and
Of
are
equal power?
of equal power around the world. They are the two biggest competitors for everything.
But see, at the same time, I'm not as familiar as Batman as I am with Tony. With Iron Man.
Basically, when it comes to Batman, Batman's biggest competitor is LexCorp.
Yes,
Stark has
Oscorp.
no, not Oscorp.
No,
Yeah.
Oscorp.
Yeah, so that
that one fucking guy he hacked all of his stuff at the court hearing. What's his name? They're trying to make the Iron Suit too.
Oh,
when you're doing the judicial committee.
yeah, I know who
That
you're
guy.
talking about. Yeah, I can't.
That's
think of his name.
basically the equivalent.
Yeah, okay. But now, if we're thinking about it though, are we gonna let them have access to all their shit, or is it gonna be they just duke it the fuck out?
I say it'd be like the Batman vs Superman movie, and they just took the fuck out.
But also too,
Because
Batman
what
versus
Batman had
Superman-
on him is all Batman used.
Yeah, but he also did have some shit though that he could use added onto it. Is it going to be they duke it out just as they are? Because if that's the case, if they duke it out just as they are, Iron Man wins 100%.
If Batman doesn't have his armored suit,
no cap.
yes.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. We'll have to do it kind of like Batman versus Superman. Batman had
Hammer
everything he needed
Industries.
on him at that point.
what
Stark's competitor is Hammer Industries.
Yeah, there we
Yes,
go.
that guy.
Hammer? Yes,
I knew the guy in the movie. I just couldn't think of his fucking
I knew
name.
it started with an H, but I couldn't figure.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember it. But yes,
Yeah. I say we do like the Batman versus Superman, where Batman shows up with everything he's going to use.
But also,
right
if we think about it though, is because I'm not as big into Batman as I am with.
Yeah, I'm the
Iron
DC
Man.
guy. You're the Marvel guy.
Yeah. But if we look into it with Iron Man, Tony's origin, he's an arms dealer. He's a developer of weaponized technology for militaries across the world.
So, Wayne Enterprises.
Wayne Enterprises, I thought Wayne was just a regular
They
billionaire with shit.
have contracts that his dad started up all over. for weapons and stuff.
Yeah. They're basically
they're literally 100%
what I was
identical to
thinking.
DCU and
Yeah.
MCU.
That's what I was thinking.
It's just
but
the lighter superheroes, the dark superheroes. It's
Mhm.
literally they're one-on-one.
so basically, they're alternate universes of each other.
So basically,
Yes.
if Batman were to do one of his little things that happens a lot where they go into an alternate universe, he could very easily go,
I mean, if we're going
Hey,
to go
Tony.
based off of comic shit, Batman has more combat experience than Tony does.
yes.
If we're going based off
And
of history
Batman
of
has
comics.
also been training himself since his parents died.
Yes. But at the same time, Tony's a fucking monstrous genius, especially if you consider the fact that he literally developed his technology for being Iron Man
and
refined it like that.
created
True.
a new element.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you take that into consideration and Batman just
But
wears
see, that's
rubber.
just it. The problem is they're both kind of that way, though. They both have that ability to do all that. They're both geniuses. That would probably be a draw then, because they both have the
But-
tactical advantage on each other depending on what specific thing you're talking about.
In a way, because whereas Tony Stark, he mainly creates all his own technology. If you go towards, I don't know about comics because I'm not real big into comics, but if to movie universe wise, Batman has Lucius Fox that supplies all his. So if Lucius Fox isn't into it,
Lucius Fox only builds what Bruce talks to him about.
yes. But if you take him, if he's
but
removed
if he's
from the
out of it, Bruce doesn't build. So if Bruce doesn't build,
Bruce has done it before.
Bruce has, but he doesn't have it
the only
down to the science.
The
that
only
Lucius
reason why
Fox
he
does.
uses Lucius Fox is because it's a convenience more than anything.
Yeah,
because
but Iron Man's able to do
originally
it
Batman
himself.
tells nobody that he's Batman, and eventually Lucius goes, "Dude, I fucking know," and it's like, "Well, all right, if you want to be an ally, fuck it, let's do this." It's basically how Batman gets Lucius.
Yeah, but Tony's able to do it 100% on his own, and he can literally figure that shit out.
Well,
But-
technically, if you really break it down, Jarvis would technically be more of Tony's Lucius,
yeah, I could see that.
because Tony needs Jarvis
But-
to look at everything.
But if we go into it and fucking, god damn it, I can't think of his name at the moment. It's pissing me off. But when Jarvis becomes the actual person, what's his name?
Vision.
Vision. Thank you.
Yeah.
When he becomes Vision,
I just remembered Red.
yes.
That's all I could remember.
When he becomes Vision, Tony doesn't have Jarvis anymore. He has that lady, but she's not the same as Jarvis was.
But he ends up
Right.
with the same basic software, just not.
Yeah, but
Jarvis.
but it's still his software is so technologically advanced
But
that he can pull up a hologram of something,
right.
zoom right the fuck in and find out what it is. He could literally go, all right, let's pull up a hologram of Wayne Enterprise, right? Of
Batman
a,
does the
of
same
building.
thing, though.
And then
Yeah.
zoom right in and be like, oh, that's where his stash is, and fucking already know.
I honestly think, the fight between the two of them, because they are so similar and they have basically the exact same technology and abilities, it honestly depends on what they have with them at the moment of the fight.
This would literally be something. This
if
is
they
literally
do not-
something
if
I'm
they do
gonna
not
have to.
if they're not fucking prepped in advance,
I'm gonna YouTube real quick and see if Bat and the Sun has done an Iron Man versus Batman thing.
because honestly, I see if they don't prep for the fight in advance, it depends on what they have at that moment. Depends on who would fucking win.
All I know is Bat and the Sun should do an Iron Man versus Batman because
They don't have one.
They don't. But I think they should, because I think that would be one of the best.
That one would probably be one of the few that they could do that would be a badass fucking fight and still end in a draw and not
Mhm.
physically one winning over the other. Because like I said, I think it depends on if it's
'Cause
like
they're-
they
They're
just
literal
if they,
mirror images
Yeah.
of each other.
if they cross paths with each other at one specific point and that's when the fight happens, it depends on who's got the better technology at that, moment. But if they both have months
see,
to
the thing
years
is-
to prep for the
Yeah,
fight,
but the thing is too, Tony is always packing his shit. So
Batman's always got his shit though too.
but
If it's
not
readily
as
available.
Tony does. As you know, fucking in Iron Man 2, he fucking just like went boop, bloop.
But see, at the same time, it depends on which batsuit we go off of. The Ben Affleck batsuit's 100% almost impenetrable, even though it's just a skin tight fabric. It's spandex.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go with like the Christian Bale, it's just fucking rubber.
Yeah.
It depends on which form of Batman suits you go
Because
with.
if we're going with the earlier Mark 1 and Mark 2 of the Iron Man suits, I could see Batman being able to pinpoint weaknesses. But when we go to the more refined versions of Iron Man's suit, Iron Man literally starts weeding out where those weaknesses would be.
Which is the same reason with Batman, because as time goes on, Batman's doing the same thing.
But also, too, Batman has to use a jet to be able to use some shit. Iron Man literally is his own jet.
That's what I'm saying. It depends on what they would have too at that exact moment, because it depends on which Iron Man, what's going on, what he has with him at that time, and same with Batman.
That's gonna be
That's literally a what's with them at that very moment fight. Because if they prep for it, they would probably both kill each other.
I could see that being a 100% chess match.
Because
I could see Iron Man outsmarting Batman to make Batman think he's going to be over here.
Mm-hmm.
But then Iron Man's going to be going, oh, since now I know I tricked you to think I'm over here, I'm going to be able to sneak attack you. But Batman fucking outsmarted Iron Man
cards, right?
And is now over
I know
here.
You did that.
And they're literally just spinning in circles of each other, never finding each other because they keep outsmarting each other.
Well, see, I see them going back and forth. But like I said, I honestly think if they prep for it, and if we set the parameters where Iron Man and Batman say have 2 years to prep for the fight, they know it's coming. They're just waiting for something to set it off, and they get 2 years before that incident occurs that points it. All right, because it's all like in Batman vs Superman. Bruce Wayne had almost a year or 2 years before the Batman vs Superman happened, and he was taking that kryptonite and developing his weapons to fight him. So if we give him like 2 years to prep, I see them either calling quits equally and going their separate ways, or I see them beating each other to a fucking pulp so bad they both fucking die.
I can see that. But at the same time, I can see Tony developing something that could literally counteract exactly what Bruce does. If he's given time as well, I could see that. Even if it's like they first meet each other and he gets to see exactly what Bruce has to offer.
Yeah.
I could see Tony, exactly what he did with Thanos. I could see Tony being able to go, oh, you have this shit? You have a Batarang? Well, here's my version of a fucking Batarang. You have this shit? Well, here's my superior version of this shit.
But see, here's stuff like that. But it's the same thing applies to Batman. Because Batman doesn't use technology as much as what Tony does. So Batman could technically find the repetitive patterns in the suit's systems, mechanisms, and how it operates, and use it against him too. So it's literally, they're probably going to kill each other, or they're both going to say, you're fucking good, I'm fucking good, we're done.
But also, too, Tony is a playboy philanthropist. He mainly cares about himself, although you can see instances where he does care about other people, considering otherwise he wouldn't be a hero. He would be an anti-hero.
And Bruce Wayne actually technically cares more about the people around him. So technically, that would give Batman an edge, though.
But not necessarily, but I could see them maybe if they were to actually fight, it would be just a simple misunderstanding fight. Then once they realize,
like Batman versus Superman, where they had a misunderstanding.
Once
somebody
they realized,
played the cards against one, played the cards against the other, and forced them.
Yeah, once they realized, oh shit, you're doing the same thing I'm doing.
You're just more hero-ish, I'm more vigilante-ish.
Yeah, let's fucking team up.
Yeah, I see that. I can see that. Either way, I think it's either going to end up a draw or they both fucking die.
Because I could literally see Tony developing a iron Batman suit for Batman. Like a nanotechnology thing for Batman to give him the ability of Iron Man combined with Batman's abilities. I could see him doing if they teamed up with each other.
I see the two of them teaming up and making some major fucking advances. So yeah, that one's. I would say that would draw 100%. The only time it wouldn't be a draw is it depends on when they meet, what they have.
Yeah, what's going? And it's one catches the other by surprise.
Yeah, because if we're talking Michael Keaton Batman. Where all he's literally got is batarangs and a fucking grappling hook, Iron Man's gonna fucking slaughter his fucking ass.
Yeah.
But if you're talking Ben Affleck Batman or Christian Bale Batman with Iron Man, there's more of a fighting chance.
Well, see, if you're talking even a
because Ben Affleck,
Ben
Affleck Batman's got 40 years of experience at least as Batman alone.
Yeah, but if we're talking about Michael Keaton Batman versus Mark I Iron Man, like first movie, I could see that being a draw. But if we're talking even Christian Bale or even Ben Affleck's Batman versus Mark I Iron Man, Batman wins 100% hands down.
Now, if we're talking Adam West, though, it's definitely going to be an Iron Man win.
Oh, all around.
Yeah.
But I mean that at the same time, though, I mean you got to think now. But if we're talking about like Iron Man 3, when he's building up the fucking protocol, and he's building up all that shit and all the individual Iron Man suits, I could see that being. But even after that, he still has them. He just doesn't have the same quantity.
He doesn't have the same quantity, and he basically ends up giving them away.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the same quantity, but he still has them that can just do their own thing.
So I honestly think it's going to draw where they realize they're on the same team and they're going to take care of the problem.
If Tony were to call that on Batman, I could see Batman losing simply because of the fact that's an overwhelming amount of firepower right on one person.
But Batman has gone against that. There are instances in comics where it goes against something similar, so it wins.
But
so honestly, it's really just a matter of which era you go with, what
who
time,
has, who
what.
has the better AI at the time.
Yeah, it really depends.
Technology.
That's honestly depends on if you
literally
say
with
this
them,
specific Batman with this specific Iron Man.
With how they are, because they're literally mirror images of each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally going to be an arms race. I see it more being more of a Cold War than an actual all-out conflict.
Yeah, this is what it would be. It would basically be Stark Industries versus Wayne Enterprises in developing shit.
Yeah.
And then who's going to get the government contracts first?
Mm-hmm.
I see it being that.
Yeah.
I don't think they would go hand to hand.
Yeah.
I agree.
And even then, I also feel like they're both smart enough that while they're doing their little company Cold Wars, one of them is going to find out the secret of the other and vice versa. And they're going to get in a meeting like, you're fucking Iron Man. And you're fucking Batman. And like,
I can see that fucking happening.
I see them sitting down in a board meeting and everybody finally leaves and goes, I fucking know who you are.
Or it's going to be like they're at a party type of shit, you know, and fucking it's Wayne Enterprises meets Stark Industries just to shake hands. I mean, the thing is, Batman's already going to know Iron Man is Iron Man because Tony doesn't hide the fact that he's Iron Man.
But if we go with Iron Man 1 before he releases it.
Oh yeah, I
still see him going, fucking Iron Man.
Yeah, I could see Iron Man shaking Bruce's hand and being like, "Hi, Batman," and then Bruce is gonna be like, "Huh?" And then Batman's gonna be like, Bruce, hi,
Tony's gonna be like, "Hey, Batman." Bruce is gonna be like, "Hey, Iron Man."
Yeah, it's gonna like, "How do you know?" I fucking know. And then that's when, oh shit's probably gonna happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, do you got any other? Because we're actually in pretty good on this episode.
Yeah,
just
we really are.
That one section alone. So how many more of those do you have?
3.
3 more?
All right, I say we call this episode right here. Well,
yeah, and then
we will come back to a part 2.
Yeah, so we can do a part 2 of these because this was actually really cool, especially how in depth that got. But what are your opinions of them actually? So what are your opinions? If you want, go ahead. You can email us at flatlandthepodcast@gmail.com. You can message us on our Twitter, Flatland Podcast. You could also message us on our Instagram, DM us at Flatlands the Podcast on Instagram. You could hit us up there on our socials and also email us as well. You could comment on Podbean as well and any other platforms that allow you to comment on.
Also rate us 5 stars on anything that allows you to. So
yes,
it helps us grow.
And even comment
better
on YouTube, subscribe and like, and hit that bell icon. But also to let us know what you think of Tony versus Batman, what you think of Neo versus John Wick, and what you also think of King Kong
versus Godzilla. Chuck
Cable,
Norris, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
Cable and Thanos.
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, Bruce Lee.
Whatever.
You're still thinking of Batman right now.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah.
So let us know your opinions of them, what you actually think. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? And make a case for it because I would love to read that myself personally.
So basically, email us would be the primary because you have more characters to spare.
Unless you're writing a YouTube comment, because I've seen fucking novels on that shit.
Yes, but preferably email so we can sort them better.
But anyway, yes.
Part 2 to come in the near future then, since we've got 3 more at least to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And if you come up with more, I guess, throw them onto that list and add it to it and we can keep going.
Yes. Well, thank you everyone for listening to Flatlands, the podcast. I'm Jonathan.
He's Josh.
And he's Steven.
And apparently we'll see you next time.